Oh, hey, I know it's been a couple days, right? So I found my motorcycle. I was able to get it recovered, fix my mustache here so I don't look like a homeless vagrant. It needs to be shaved. Maybe I do. Anyway, just want to let y'all know that I have recovered my motorcycle. It's been taken back to the mechanic, who the place where it was originally stolen from. Chad, hey, bro.
What's haps, Big Daddy?
So it's good to see you, Chad. My my motorcycle's been found and recovered, and I have uh, taken it back to the place where it was stolen from, and they've locked it up. So, and I have been able to. Let's see. I told him that I would. He can sell it, right? And I told him I would split any profit over what amount I had. Solomon Marcus. Oh, thank you, Solomon. It was really great. I was so depressed. As you know, I didn't do a live stream the next day. I was depressed. I was wondering what I was going to do because it was, just weighing on me. And when stuff weighs on you, it takes away from your drive and your focus. I mean, I didn't even want to write in the book. I was looking at my art here, and I'm wondering, well, maybe I can build something. And I got some ideas for some stuff, but it just wasn't. Been all over state looking at different job sites and field reports all weeks for the architect company I work for. And glad you got your motorcycle back. Me too. So I was trying to focus on finding something to do. It's it was just nagging at me. I didn't. I was. It was just that little Satan on your shoulder, just going, yeah, yeah. You don't want to do anything. You want to be depressed, yeah. And I kept trying to go, okay, well, there's got to be some positivity around here somewhere. So I kept going deep down inside and struggling to find this positivity, and it just wasn't coming. Then I got my phone call, and it was, I think, the next 2 days afterwards that it had been found. And then rejuvenating and having a friendship, kinship moment with an old friend who I hadn't seen, who was the mechanic who was tasked to fix it. Everything happens for a reason, right? We have to accept everything happens for a reason. My bike was stolen so I could reconnect with this brother and find out where he lived. Because I've it's so crazy because he was just like, along with the motorcycle that was stolen was my gas leaf blower that would operate the dry wash equipment, which would be the shaker box that filters all the heavies out of the material that's coming down, right? So the sand and stuff is put up on here on the grizzly, and it filters down into your dry wash, and it's shaking. It has air blowing through it, and it's shaking back and forth because it's a circular fan, and it's got a weight. It's got a bolt on one side, so it just agitates like that, and that's enough to sink the gold down to the bottom, and you can just, as fast as you can shovel, it'll just keep scarfing it right up. Yes, the warrior spirit. And but we can't fight what God has given us, though. You know what I mean? I mean, if God gives us that depression, we need to look at it as a positive sign. We have we have that direction that's within our minds that it's hard to confront that the depression, and then understanding that there's a reason behind it, and then twisting some positivity out of it. Oh God, you're right. It's a hard effort to get done. And but once we were able to taste the ability to overcome, and I just tasted that, right? I tasted the depression, and I fought it, and I was looking for different things to do. I'm still killed on my lapidary stuff. I need a 600 hard wheel, $325. Dang. depression. I can't deal on that. I can frame out stones. I can chew up the time, but it's still nagging, And then I got some progress on the art, and that's all you can do is look at. There's got to be some positivity behind it, and whether I had accepted. I had accepted that the motorcycle was gone. I accepted that I was never ever going to see it again. I had accepted that. And I had thought about different ways that I can overcome the loss of that funding, right? Well, when I was doing refurbishing work for somebody, he always said it was, sometimes you have to buy your work, right? So you have to go out and you got to basically twist your dollar, right? You got to twist it. You got to twist a dime out of it, but you got to twist more than a dime out of it. You got to twist $1 out of that dime in order to make anything of it. So when you're trying to put all that effort and time into twisting over a dime into $1, it just doesn't seem feasible. So you got to multiply that and twist it into something that's more. And the something more was, as Chad says right there, is a reconnection with a friend. And I think that was the initial drive that that was that's the twist that some people overlook, but then other people do not overlook. And some people chew on those and go, that left a bad taste in my mouth, or hey, wow, that was pretty tasty. And you you just never know. And I I am so grateful that I have been blessed with the motorcycle, the reconnection with God, the time that I spent on the internet that when I was having that stuff, I was able to kind of delve into some basic thinking processes. So I've still got questions in my mind about my book and how to answer certain things. And I there I have to complete the framework of the puzzle in order to be able to fill out the center pieces. So when we find the quarter pieces, that's a basic foundation, cornerstones, right? The cornerstones of our puzzle. But do we only have four cornerstones, or do we have more than four cornerstones? I guess it depends on how many facets that you want to have on your gem. Now, my gem, I like to have more than just a two-dimensional square, right? I want to have something with depth, something with reflection that you could look into and see something back within yourself. That's what I'm going for. That's the stuff that I dig. So I am looking at, there was several, like I said, several questions. I have so many pages on my computer that I've forgotten about, that are not even in the right file, and trying to find all these within a 2 terabyte hard drive. It's only that big. My entire life work is on a 2 terabyte hard drive. Whatever notes I have, whatever, all the poetry I've written, everything is there on that hard drive. So when I die, I don't know who's going to get it, but it may get thrown in the round file. Who knows? What does that tell you about life? Remember, I was telling you about estate sales and how I would go and see these people's lives work, and they spent all their, realize that they've spent their all entire life working to get this one thing done, and they get to work in it, and right to the point of completeness. Bang, heart attack. Ah, they're over dead. I've seen it all too often. You know, how much time and effort. Reno, Trinidad, good to see you, bro. Um, you know, and it's always about how to overcome, you know, um, that desire, how to overcome that desire, that the desire to be something maybe you're not. That's that want need factor that I always talk about. That what do you want to be? What do you need to be? You need to be a kind, loving, generous soul. And sometimes it's hard for us to be kind and loving and generous. And it's really easy for us to be, well, things that I can't say without getting demonetized. So, you know, there's the only things that we can really truly focus on are the positive things. And that's the hard part for all of us to be able to get down deep inside and twist every positive thing that you can out of life, because if you don't turn it around, it will eat you, just like having my motorcycle stolen for 2 days. It ate me up. Thank you, Brino. I wish you all the success in the world. Thank you for being the person who you are. Thank you for being a part of my life. I appreciate you, my friend. So, who can you be positive to in this world? Anybody and everybody that we have connection with, right? So, our connection to humanity is the power that we need to strive for, right? There is power in our humanity. We can strive to get up above and over any obstacle in our way. We can just, if we can just overcome that negative power of humanity that draws out from our souls, right? Because we are basically just little organic computers sitting here in the middle of the world, just meandering around, having interactions with each other, having ionic exchanges of energy with each other. You and I are having an ionic exchange of information via the internet, the sound waves you hear with your ears and your little light variations that you see with your eyes. Yet there's a connectivity between us right here. And it's amazing that we have this magic that we have made. Thank you, Chad. I think of you each and every day. And I wish you nothing but the best in the world, bro. I was sad to hear that you did not continue with the architect job, and how life had deviated you from knowing what you wanted to do. You were so happy to see that you had that happiness taken away. I hope it was replaced with something better. Ah, oh, Chris, thank you, bro. Happy holidays to you. I wish you and your family the best of the holiday season. I do. Ah, thanks, Brino. It takes me a minute to catch up on stuff, catch up on my strength, how to be a better man, strong. Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Rosh Hashanah, uh, there's Feliz Navidad and all them other ones. I mean, when you think about it, it's just about the positivity of the holidays, bringing together what we were talking about with the ionic exchange and how we can be stronger, bringing us together. It's that ionic exchange that we all have that can bring us together, not drive us apart. We've been driven apart for too long. Each and every day we are driven apart, each and every day. Can't allow it to happen. We have to know the positivity is there. It will come. Whether we have to sacrifice some negativity in order to achieve the greater positivity and instill happily. And recently married. Oh, congrats. Well, maybe congrats. I don't know how to makes it hard sometimes to hop on here and watch what you got going on, but I try to make time for it. You don't get it. I appreciate anybody. I appreciate anybody who comes on and has an interaction with me. It's graduate from school. Nice. So you have a title. Great. That's great for your resume. Don't forget to continue to build stuff. The engineering, right? Where didn't you go engineering, Chad? I think it was engineering. Let me show you some of what I've got going on. As long as I'm live, I got stuff kind of set up. I'm working on the art stuff. I just want to show it to you. It can be hard, but I try to stay true to that. It is really hard to stay true to that. Satan just gets on your shoulder and he'll gnaw in your ear, right? And you just quit gnawing on my ear. Little MFR, right? Okay, let me show you. I'll be right back. All right, so this is one little dude I got here, okay? So I'm actually thinking about turning this upside down here, this whole thing, right? Because if you look at it, there's my eyes up here, but if you turn it upside down, well, he's got a little mustache right here, right? And this could hang down as a goatee or a beard or whatever. So let me show you what it looks like upside down, right? We can't see the perspective until it's given to us. So there we have, if we just block this off, there we have the head. So we can see the head that we have, and I can remember this is all just a base here. So here I can add stuff for maybe this would be a mouth, right? And I can add stuff in here, maybe a gauge or a light or something. I don't know. But when you turn it upside down, it will hang down about this far, which is good. Which means if I fluff this out into like a goatee or something, I will be able to shape it so it won't block that lens effect here. So, and of course, anything can be changed, right? Anything and that anything can be changed. Okay, so it's all interdynamic because these are all this stuff can be moved. Okay, none of my stuff is soldered. All my stuff is screwed together. Okay, so this is, you can see I carved a little hand out of copper, right? And I folded it around. This little piece here came out of a cuckoo clock. It was the thing that stopped the clock from going backwards. So I put that in there as some sort of a tool. And this is just, that's a torch of some sort. I just slapped it on a piece of wire, but it makes it cool for the effect. And I call this is the doctor. Okay, so because he's got so many things, it looks like he's just ready to cut somebody open. So this is this is going to be turned upside down. That was the idea that I had the other day, and um, let me show you the back here. It's just a foundation. There's a lot more to do still. Okay, so this is going to get a lot more complex. This is I've only got one or two really simple ones, um, and this is I figured this one just wasn't complex enough. You know, he's he's still got options, right? He's got the little feet here that I can still put shoes on, right? Or I can attach something else. I don't know. I've got I've got toolboxes here. I couldn't bring my file cabinet, so I'm sorry. I got four at home. I got four file cabinets full of materials, copper, brass, and gears, and stuff like that. And it just so that's just what I do, right? Because I'm an artist, but I don't paint. I've never, ever, never painted a picture in my life. I painted plenty of houses, but I never painted. I've never written a book. I've never been to a major league sports game. Fact, none of them. Ever. I've been to a high school football games. That was it. That was when I was in high school. Just trying to get laid, right? So, yeah, that was it. I didn't pay any attention to the football. I was just trying to get laid. So, I'm going to put this away because you probably don't want to see this anymore. I got another one to show you. I've got many of these that are pieces in progress. So there's here's another one. This is a head item. Okay, so we've got this here. And this is a pair of broken opera glasses. Okay, they were smashed. Okay, now I don't reform anything. I don't polish anything. I try not to mark anything up. Everything has its original patina, and I use all the same threads on all the stuff that I screw together. Um, if it is put together, it might be put together loosely, like this one, because this is one of my first ones here. So there was missing a lens, so I had this other lens, which is uh, lens that is carved out of that they would carve a regular lens out of, right? But this is just blank material. So I just put some copper wire around it to kind of give it a little sort of uh, effect of, you know, I don't know. That's what it ended up being. And this is all these like this here, not finished yet. So, but I don't know. I might be able to use that. So right now, this here, this could be a great mustache. This could be his mouth here, right? Because this can move, right? Now, the reason why I have these pieces moving, I intend on when I make these pieces of art, my whole intention is to sell them at an NFT auction so people can use these sculptures as stop motion photography because they are all posable, movable, and twisty, frisky, everything. So, and then I will be able to get residuals back when they do something stop motion photography ish with my stuff, or if they do something else with it. I don't know. That's my whole intent with all of my sculptures. Let me let me show you a different one. Now, remember I talked about we're just working with basic materials, correct? So here I have this weird thing. I just put stuff together and stuff shows up, right? So we never know what's going to show up. Now, I had spent probably in actual real time, taking stuff apart and taking apart all the little pieces. I'm going to say I probably have at least 3 months of time taking apart all these little things, right? So these that God directed me to just take stuff apart, and I like doing it because it's the world's best erector set. There's nothing better than salvaging all these cool little weird parts. This came out of a mechanical adding machine that I bought for $10. I probably got 300 parts off of this little adding machine. There's another part of the adding machine. This is where the tape came up and it read out the receipt. Oh, I don't. Ha ha! Get demonetized, Todd. Yeah, see how easy that was? Now I want to show you what this guy. When I saw this put together, I thought of Stewie, right? Does that look like Stewie? Right? It looks like Stewie. I'm sorry. I gotta move. It's there. It's there somewhere. I see it, and I'm gonna. It's gonna be twisted around somehow. Maybe it goes that way. I don't know. That kind of puts his head out a little bit. I have to watch the cartoon. I don't watch TV, so that's another thing. As I don't watch TV, so I don't I forget stuff. That's the beauty of me and having my reality, right? What's what's my reality? I'm the last of my family line. There's nobody underneath me and my family line has to be responsible for me in any way. So that's my reality. It does look like Stewie, doesn't it, Chad? Huh? I can make that look like Stewie. I can I can guarantee I can make that look like Stewie. I saw you guys, but I agree completely. Ah, sorry I missed all your guys' chat. I was too busy talking. Missed all you guys' chat. I was so busy talking. Ah, okay. So yeah, I definitely see Stewie into this one. I don't. I have to. He has the football head, right? So in order to, I have to make him a little bit more football-y, right? So he he has to come up here. So I have to come up with something across here that will cover this space, right? Uh, and I have, let's see, I got a watch band here. Oh, I mean, you see, I mean, you just never know. I just grab stuff and put it in and fill it in. You never know what it is. Here's a different watch band, right? And I would just screw this into the back. Ugh, uh, you guys don't want to watch that. So let me get another piece here. Okay. Now this guy, I'm this guy's going to be a musician of some sort. I seem to have a lot of I have an affinity towards music stuff, um, but I don't have any draw towards music stuff mentally in my brain. But I'm able to put stuff together, and these, like I say, all these little things move apart. So now this, I'm going to have him like holding a guitar, right? So I got his eyes here, and I got his brain up here with his little wires, right? see here. So I got his little brain there with the wire. Oh, there we go. Ah, look at that. Holy crap, Todd. Take the curtains down, weirdo. All right. So here we are. We've got his little mouth here. We got his nose here. Got his eyes here. Now right here I've got a little spring. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this little spring, but it comes right off. Now, that's the beauty of doing something like this. You can have the options set in place. But you can always remove them, right? So if you find something more cool or more rad, then you can replace it with something that's gnarly. And so, but I like having these options here because it helps me think and place how these things go. Because when in my brain, the way that I think is that I know this is going to be a guitar of some sort. I've got gauges and I've got computer parts I can put on here. I've got lenses. I've got wire that I can twist into stuff. I mean, I really have toolboxes full of stuff, and I didn't bring hardly any of what I got. So what I want to do with this guy is here I have to have him be able, this is like a great elbow type of situation here, right? Then I have this here, right? This spring here is connected to this other part. So if I pull this down, and lock it, let's see. Come on now. All right, there we go. So you pull this down and it locks, right? So I hold this down, it can go either back or it can be flipped up. All based on that spring. Okay. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with this here, but it looks kind of like a bagpipe, right? So, and this is just a compressor from a refrigerator or an AC unit or something, I don't remember. And so this can be part of a bagpipe that may be able to be connected somehow to this. Now, remember, this can always be removed, right, and replaced with something else. So this is an easy removal. You've got basically just two bolts. One bolt and it slides off. All right, and then it's bolted back here. Okay, so we have a hard mount. Okay, because we want to have a hard mount when putting this together, and we want to maintain a swivel. So we have to have a hard mount, a swivel, and a 90-degree. Okay, all these things play into how the action is going to be in what we do here. So now this guy still needs legs, right? So or should he be mounted on legs? And then how would we do that? I've been contemplating that because this is an actual motor from the inside of the adding machine. It's very heavy and it's very, very geary, right? You can see the cool gears in the inside, right? You can see all the action that we have here, right? So this stuff moves, goes back and forth. And then these can be twisted. This also goes all the way through. This goes all the way through. So you move this part, it moves this part on the back. So it's also got a radius that twists this way, right? So these are little small things that are you kidding me? Somebody sent me money. Dude, Aristotle, thank you, bro. Uh, I don't know what to say. I've never been sent money on a oh, thank you, bro. So, thanks, Chad. I'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks, Aristotle. You're you're a man of men. Thank you. So, uh, I also like to do on my. Sorry, I'm still overwhelmed. I also like to do when I do my sculptures. I also like to have two two directions, right? So when you look at a piece of art that you when you walk around it, you will see something different. Okay. So on all of my pieces of art, I try to have um, two two different angles of viewpoint. Remember, I said I like more than just the square, right? So I like to when I want to display. Now, here's the when I display these, they have to be on a stable mount, right? That was my problem when I went with um, having my uh, the steampunk SpongeBob, right? When I had him to the art show at the VA, he got first place. He went to nationals, and that was it. But here was the problem: is I didn't have him on a stable base, and he wasn't fully secure. So when this guy's going to be mounted, he has to be fully secure. That means that somebody can like pick him up out of a box. Oh wow, cool, and set him on a table. And that requires a good base mount. We have to. It's like a cornerstone, and it's like this. Okay, this is a gas torch, right? This goes onto a big commercial oven or stove, big commercial stove. So this is where the gas goes in, right? So the gas goes in there. Oh, look, there's a spider nest in there. You see the spider nest in there? Yeah, there he is, spider nest. Okay, so the gas goes in there and uh, comes through here and comes out. This is the you see this mounts onto the stove. Those hard mount commercial stove. Brother man,
How are you, brother?
brother man, just want to say, hey Todd, you're a true Renaissance man, many different talents. Thank you so much, sir. I've got I got other ones too, but well, I don't know how many you've seen, so I don't know. So this is going to be a good base mount. Typically, you would see it mounted to a commercial stove like this, and this would be your gas inlet. And but instead, I'm going to have it set on the table like this. Now, it has this little round hole right here, right? So I was thinking that I'd be able to do something with that little round hole right there, right? So you see, they're kind of close, but then really not because they don't like each other. So if they don't like each other, that means it's not going to happen. So let me put this here, this here. So here we are. We're stuck with we have a hole here that we have to mount a bolt to because we can't attach to something that's not there. right? I can drill, I can tap a hole and I can thread it, but when you're altering, and then I don't like doing that. I mean, I like my stuff to have not been soldered. I haven't done it yet. I've got the stuff right there. I want to. I just don't know how to. I gotta have a certain amount of things to solder together or of like material that makes something else that could be applied to this or that or the other thing, right? So we don't really know. Um, so I can't mount that. I cannot mount that to here. There's no attachment point for anything there. You see that? That means that there is nothing that I can attach to. Okay? That means that's my limitation. Okay? So the limitation is that I have no mounting, and I have really kind of no mounting here. So either they're non compatible, or I have to find one thing that likes the both things like, right? So in here, I can go I can go through there and I can put a bolt in. Okay, this is a little bit bigger here. I can fit a bolt in there, and it's a little bit smaller there. I can put a bolt on top of that and have it actually be a found threaded bolted foundation that I can securely mount something to, which would have to be another round thing or something that would screw onto the threads that I have there. That would allow me, depending on the length of the threads, I could put in two bolts. It could sandwich a piece of metal that could be worked out from there. That's how I like to attach things. I don't I don't like to drill and change the integrity of the piece. I will fabricate and manipulate something to fit the piece somehow, some way that it twists around. I need a bracket, I need a hinge, I need something that rotates, I need something that wraps. I need something that, if you have a bolt here, and well, you need something here. Okay, well, you can wrap copper wire around there, and you can twist it into a bolt and thread it with something, right? Because you can, if it breaks, it breaks. You can remake it. So, and I've done that before. I have taken it and I had a. That's how I do a marriage of metals or a marriage of materials without how I mod it, and and I guess away from the typical hard mount. I guess because that allows swivel, and then that allows a hinge point. Okay, which could go from this way. Okay, depending on how we have it mounted. So don't forget, we also have that little point there. Now those are two bolts, right? That's something I can fabricate. Well, I need a piece of metal to stick up there, and how about that? A little piece of metal to stick right up there that would wrap right around whatever needs to wrap around to get that little dude to sit right there. But he should probably sit up and off of this a little bit, and there should be something here that almost seems like it provides some sort of levitation, right? Maybe a coiled wire of some sort. Uh, oh boy. I always feel pressure when you feel pressure, right? Look for something. Ay-ya. Ay-ya-ya. Ay-ya-ya. Ha-ha. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Okay, so we are looking at what we have here is we have one view of a face, okay? And we want to, I'm sorry, I'm still all stuffed up from Aristotle giving me a hundred something. I don't know what it was. I don't know. It might be $1. I don't know. Um, uh, I'm gonna blow my nose. Wow. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare anybody off, but wait. Okay. So if we look at the back side, okay, what do we have to work with from the back side? Because when we're doing this, you can change. This is like changing the hubcaps on a car, right? The left side and the right side don't have to be the same hubcaps because you can only see one or the other. It's kind of the same thing when you're doing a sculpture like this. You see one or the other. Okay, so when you walk around to the other side, this can be anything here. Now, these are two switches. Everything that I have on here is operable. They all work. So this motor probably spins if you apply power to it, because I took it right out of the machine. That worked. And so and I have to trace down the wires and stuff. I don't know, maybe I can do a collab with Great Scott. Yeah, right. Okay, so on this side here, I don't know whether I would use these as like a nose and then put like some sort of a mouth option here, or if thanks Tom, hey, you have a great day too, brother. Um, or if I wanted to use that just as a nose, or maybe as a neck, right? It means I can have another head option up here, which leaves me with this, right? So I put this up here and it'll be all really necky and stuff. But then I can take it all apart and put it just down to here. Now that might be a cool option, because then it would also give this. Well, this stuff would not be here. I really twisted the poop out of that spoon now. I don't know what I did there. Maybe that was a bolt or something. It's been a while since I worked on that one. But we've got no, here I am looking for stuff, feeling pressure again. Okay, well, here's another option we can use for a head. Now, I took this out of a grandfather clock. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you. You are a man of means, and it means a lot to me for you to give me anything at all. Okay, so we have this. We have a lot of options we can do with this piece here. I have the hard mounts here. All these are options, right? Direct hard mounts that can swivel. Okay, so they have the ability to swivel and be hard mounts. Now there are 5 options of hard mounts that I have just on the back of this here. So on the front side, it was originally probably like this, right? For the doohickey. Well, we turn it upside down, and well, these are going to be great mounts for eyes of some sort. I could put glass beads in there that would highlight some bright colors. Of Dacian blood.
What's up, brother?
So I don't know what exactly I want to put here, but I think maybe I could even because it's really kind of a small mount. I could even carve some pipestone, right? The red with the red might I don't know. That's I've got stuff. I've got stuff. So I could mount this to the back side of this guy, right? But then I did that. Then it would leave that. All right. Then that would be leave that on the back side. I guess I could be a funky hat. I guess. I don't know. It's just too complex. Not going to work, right? They don't jive. You can probably make them drive, but is it worth the time and the effort? And no. There's something else that will jive. It's just like the Stewie thing, right? That those two parts, they just went together and they look just like Stewie. Now I just gotta find some pictures of Stewie and make it work. You know, it's you all got to start with the basic foundation of something, and the basic foundation of all of us is what we have inside, right? So, and what we have inside is what we put out, and what we put out is what we have inside. It's our connection to God, right? So remember, this is just a hard mount. It's one thing. I've got other things that could be put here instead of this. This just gave me the idea and the thought of mounting something here that could swivel. And this happened to have the additional application of extra swivelly stuff, right? Because that's in order to do the stop motion animation, you have to have the swivelly stuff. And the more that you have, the more options you can play with, right? So you're basically just building stuff with nuts and bolts that you've recovered and taken out of here. You've bought it in the state auction. I saw a guy buy a whole. This goes into the recording of doing what you love for your life, right? So when we do what we want for our life, the love of our life, it keeps us whole inside. And if we can't find a way to make a denominational return from doing what we love, then all we can do is have a foundational return, right? To strengthen our foundation. We put that mortar in between the bricks that we build our house with, right? I've been doing YouTube for 13 years, 14 years. Doesn't matter. Did I ever think that I would become a YouTube producer? No. I just like making stuff. I like taking stuff apart. It was, and then next thing you know, one of my videos goes viral, and people, well, you've been doing it for. I was born that year, and wow, a 13-year-old. It never, because I don't have kids, so I don't know what that relationship is. So, wow, having a 13-year-old, seventh grader, right, eighth grader, who knows? Say, call me a TV producer. I'm just making stuff. That's how titles get put on you, right? So your live stream was in my recommended video, so I thought I should say hi. I love you, Dave. I appreciate you coming in and saying hi. It is so appreciative to have somebody who we have a connection with come in and say hi and appreciate whatever I do. It's heartwarming. So we are putting these away because I need to stop thinking about them because I'm just going to continue rambling on for hours because of the stuff. It's the things that come into my mind that I can do. That I you never know how something's going to apply until you actually apply it. That goes with anything in life. If we don't know how to apply something, we have to figure out a way to put its application to use. Or if we can't do that, we have to fabricate something that will meld them together. And the same thing with life. There are some things that we want to do and some things that we need to do. Well, in order to do the things that we want to do, we need to do some other things. You see how there's a quantum interaction there. One feeds the other, right? That's the quantum interaction that's really missing in the life. In order to add something positive, there will be something negative that will happen in order to make it happen. That's going to happen. Won't be hard to find if you look deep enough, because there are a lot of things that you can twist around something to make it work until the proper time comes when God gives you the right choice to do it with. Barb, Tech, Crystal, hi. How are you? Okay, so let's see. What was I? Oh, there we go. All right. So this is another one I'm working on here. Well, came out of a phone, and I have twisted some parts into it. This came out of that mechanical adding machine. These little gears here were the little twisties. These little gears here were the things that twisted the numbers, right? So all those move, and these move here. So the one creepy part about this guy is his eyes will follow you around the room. Wherever you go, he's going to be looking at you. So you can always, his eyes just keep going. And the way that you do that is you are able to have concave, right? That's how you manipulate the eyes to follow you around the room. Okay? All right? That's how you do it. So I've given the swivel options here. I figured this is going to be some sort of long hair, maybe curls. I don't know. Now this is a phone. This is the bell from a phone. Now, if there were to be applied voltage to the magneto or whatever they call it, it would probably ring and vibrate and go back and forth. And that's a little doohickey right there, right? So that's that little doohickey there that rings the bell, because the eyes are now been done backwards. The bell's been put backwards. And these were just an easy mount here for swivel action, which was also mirrored over here. So remember, these, as with anything, it's all temporary. We can always take it off. There's no soldering. I'm sorry. So I'm also trying to be able to figure out a way to mount those two posts right there. So I can have that as some sort of a stability. I'll be able to move those back and forth. I have a good swivel mount on the mouth here, so that will provide decent action if it ever goes into use for stop motion. And so this one is still really kind of, I've got this action up here that I think came from a clock or something, and I can mount like eyebrows or something up here that will also give ability and movement here. So I don't know how that's actually going to ever work, but we'll give it a whirl. Uh, and as far as the other stuff, well, it just ends up molding together as it molds together. I will. You guys are going to be on with me on this journey here. So I'm going to try. My mining thing isn't quite panning out. Like I went out to the mine. I got a sidewall stick, and that panned me out for 3 days getting that repaired. And another bout of depression, right? It's Satan. Well, guess what? During that time in which I had that tire getting fixed, I was able to spend time with a good friend of mine, and we were able to. I printed out some. I got a chapter written in my book. Kind of started. I got to start a foundation, right? So I had to start somewhere, and I didn't know where to start. And that guy told me, just start writing. And I think, well, in my brain, really, when you overthink stuff, it kind of tends to garble, right? So all this stuff just kind of starts mixing and mashing, and it ends up being, a really pasty blob of I don't want to eat it, right? So when we're able to break it down and just focus on one point and exclude the little rabbit trails, because boy, them rabbit trails will distract the rat bananas right out of you, right? So what's a rat banana? Yeah, right. What's a rat banana? What's a nah? Well, you I could go on. We won't. Praise the Lord. Okay, so distractions, rabbit trails. You see how those rabbit trails can sneak up and grab you? And throw you right off track. And you got to maintain your focus and dynamic on solving one problem at a time. Because once you get that one problem solved, when you're solving that one problem, some of those rabbit trails, they get solved along the way, right? But you don't know that because you were distracted with the complexity of the dynamic in front of you when it was all tangled up in all different directions. That's the only way is to nail down a major dynamic point. And that's what I got to do with my book. I got to start. You got to start somewhere. That was what a friend told me. Because all the dynamics in my head were just, they were, what's this problem and how does this interact with this? And all the dynamics were there, but the dynamics kept changing dynamics and confounding my head. I'm a traumatic brain injury survivor, so my thoughts are, look a rabbit, UFO. Whoa, hey, bro, what's that, bro? Right? You just never know what's going to distract you, and especially when you're easily distracted, any stray thought can throw you off target. And I've been there and I've lived it. I'm 52. I've lived a lot of years of being distracted. And it's only been recently that I've been able to grab focus and grab that communion that I have with what's inside. And you know what's inside. I don't want to say it because they'll, oh, you're talking religion. Yeah, run away. Right? So, fine. You don't want to talk about it? Great. Wonderful. Want to ask me about it? I'm more than happy to explain it, but I ain't going to force it on you. You don't want it. Fine. Rad. Less shit I got to worry about. So, the main thing here is focus on solving one thing. But one thing I need to focus on here in order to be able to use this item is there has to be a standing point, right? So a standing point, I have to have a fixed rotation. So I get a flat slab of metal with 2 holes in it. Okay. That's all I basically need. And that will provide rotation for these, and it will provide as a steady standing point with 2 legs, but we want a 3rd leg because 3 legs are optimal, right? That like a table, a 3-legged table, you can set it on uneven ground and it'll still stand. A 4-legged table, it's going to be wobbly and cattywampus. But when you have the 3 legs, then you're able to then you're able to re-strengthen the dynamic. 3 points of contact when you're climbing a roof, right? You maintain your 3 points of contact because you don't want to fall off the roof like Todd did. Remember when I fell off the roof? Well, no, I wasn't doing live stream then. So I fell. I'll save that for another time. Never mind. If you fall off a roof, it's not fun. On a ladder, you bend the ladder when you land on it. It's not fun. It broke my scapula. So you can see it just kind of. Well, no, that's my left arm. It's actually my right arm that was going to broke. But distractions. You see how that happens? Bang! Just like that, we get distracted. So we got the 3 points of contact we need, right? So you see those screws right there? Those screws are the only things I have to connect with, right? So I have to connect something to those screws down to my 3 points of contact here. So that's the only way that I'm going to be able to do it. Now, I could probably mount this onto a block of wood. That way, it kind of solves the neck problem, solves the body problem, and it gives me another dynamic to think about. Because if we're thinking about a mounting and we're thinking about how to do things differently, right? Because my sculptures are going to contain musical instruments. They're not going to be musical, but they're going to look like they're playing musical instruments. And that's part of the dynamic that I have in my stuff. I don't know. I'm not musical, but it's there. So we can mount this onto the bottom and have something up here. So I have the body up on the top, but maybe some more different arms that went down. So I mean, this is going to be a larger type sculpture than I would have typically done, because if he's going to have stuff up here, I still got to mount him somehow onto foundation, right? Or what were we talking about, foundation? So we got to find a decent foundation. That's hard because now find a stable 3-point foundation. It's going to handle a lot of weight because, well, these are really copper and real brass and real nuts and bolts and heavy shit. Oh, there I go. Demonetized. Bang, just like that. hour and 10 minutes without doing it. Son of a mother front door. All right, so there we go. I don't know. It's going to put a lot of weight onto a three-legged piece of art here. I don't like that. It doesn't seem like the right thing to do. It doesn't jive right. So it's almost like I'm trying to force it, right? As much as I want to do it, it's I don't need to be forcing myself to do it. I need it's one of those options, right? It's like a writer's block, Only it's not really a writer's block. It's just a creative confounding situational puzzle, and trying to figure out what it is that you want to do with the dynamic. I haven't really taken this apart and looked at it to find a stable foundation part where this mouth is mounted. You see that little slot right there, right? So here we've got this slot right there. If I mounted another bolt right there down to accommodate my 2 points there, that will give a 3-point all the way right there. Equal foundation I could build upon from that. I could probably weave strength wire in between there and build it like kind of like trusses, right? So we would kind of fabricate our truss in the same way. So that's how we have to look at maintaining the stability of uh, the dynamic that I see. Whether you see it or not, well, we don't know, and whether this is even going to remain a mouth, right? Because we don't know if it's going to fit or work or twist, because everything in life, as is in sculptures and art, because life is an art form. And the more that we see how we are able to manipulate our life in the same way we're able to manipulate art, then it is then that we will grow, right? Then we will grow when we learn stuff, and when we internalize our problems and solve them ourselves with our own solutions that we have self-derived within our organic computer we have in our brain. Wow, that ionic exchange in between those brain cells you and I have right now. Isn't that crazy? Huh? Okay, so let me see here. I really have nothing else really to show you except that part there, but I'm still working on that one there. Don't worry, you'll see it. It might be a couple days, but I'm gonna. There's a lot of cool little gadgets and stuff that I don't know. He seems kind of lobstery, but not really lobstery. I don't know. I might put one of the heads that you saw earlier here onto that and manipulate it that way. Oh, excuse me. I don't know. So it is 12:30. I have to go get my mail at the post office. You all have a great day. I am so happy to have been a part of your life. Thank you for subscribing and liking and sharing and anything that you guys have offer, say. Oh, thanks, brother man. You have a great day. Be safe. Eyes open, bro. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. So yeah, y'all have a great day. I'm gonna check on out of here, and I will try to be on tomorrow. If I'm not, well, fear not. I don't plan on doing anything dangerous in the next couple of days. So I won't be Wade? Wade! Hey, how are you, bro? I if it's the same Wade that we're thinking it is, it's a bagel-rito day. Yeah. Okay, well I appreciate each and every one of you, and I thank you for helping me kind of overcome my depression through the ionics exchange of thought and connection that we have over this amazing device that we have before us, right? The computer and the, the webcam. Yeah, buddy. Awesome, Bagley. Yeah. And I I appreciate each and every one of you. And y'all have a great day. I'll try to be doing stuff and show it to you tomorrow. And maybe we'll talk about something different. Who knows? You never know what to talk about, what I'm thinking about, because we're all kind of all over the place, right? Together we can maintain focus. Thanks, Aristotle. I appreciate you, my man. Everybody, y'all be safe. I will see you tomorrow.